Good morning, Ma.
Good morning to all of you out there.
And as people are joining in for today's Sunday Collective, what is that one thing that you did this morning that you'd like to share with us?
What I did so many things this morning, but the most beautiful one was to go out on the terrace and admire the sunrise, the light breaking through the darkness, and majestically arriving, and the smiling sun.
The smiling sun.
Yeah.
So when we are in that moment of darkness and either the light is breaking through that darkness, how do we fearlessly walk into the darkness knowing that the light is within us, even if everything looks dark?
We are not aware of that the light is within us right at the beginning, because we are in the light.
Okay, so
And
we don't see
then-
the darkness maybe?
Yeah, because darkness is also traveling at the same speed of light. When the light fades, then the darkness arrives. When the darkness fades, the light arrives, right?
Yes,
It's
ma'am.
just like the sunrise and the sunset.
Yes, ma'am.
So the point is that when we are in the spiritual abode and we are conceptualizing life on earth and how we can be king and queen and master and controller, so then the divine gives us free will to cross the river and come down as sparks of light to illuminate planet earth, or to find the light and take it into darkness, right? So the first step of taking it into darkness is that we get into the womb.
Oh,
That is the darkest space for us. And in that darkness, we have taken the light of the divine. We have that spiritual spark of nectar. We have that connection to the divine, and the soul is in the womb, but is still connected to the divine, is still connected to the light. And that light, when it arrives in the womb of the mother is very enlightened. So we have taken the light into the darkness because the mother is waiting for the soul to arrive. So when the soul arrives, then begins the journey of that 9 months, right?
yes, ma'am.
Now if you look at it, the sun's rays, when leave the sun's body and they arrive on planet Earth, it takes about 8 minutes and some 19-20 seconds. So it's the same journey when the soul arrives in the womb. The life is viable in that 8 minutes and 19 seconds, and then the soul travels with the mother for those 9 months and is conceptualizing its relationship, its abilities, its strengths, and is growing that light inside the womb and becoming ready to find, they say it's darkest before dawn. So the child, the soul, is finding its way through the birth canal, or even if it's a cesarean section, from that darkness, they come back into the light in this material universe. And they're completely stunned because they're helpless, they cannot walk, they need care, they need love, nurturance, and they are, some of the souls are thinking that we've arrived in darkness and ignorance, and some souls are spiritually empowered, they have a faith, they have a spiritual belief from a previous lifetime, and they arrive to enlighten the family, to create a legacy and inheritance for that family name, and to take it forward. So it's very majestic that we are always taking the light, because the light is our religious, spiritual grace that's coming from many lifetimes. And we are redesigning our life time and time again when we come into the material universe. And sometimes we are just coming here to do the work of the divine, to spread the light, to hear that, we are light beings that have come into this darkness, this space, to enlighten others, to heal others, to shine even in the darkness, right? It's like the sun. When the sun is shining brightly, we can't see the stars, but the stars are still shining.
there.
So when the darkness goes away, then it is bringing the light of the stars very visible to us. So the sparkling stars are beacons of light that are very enlightening, because if you go out on a dark night and you watch the sky, it's like a majestic carpet of twinkling lights that are mesmerizing, and emptiness and that darkness is only possible when our own body has the light. So we are in resonance with that, in that meditative space. Our light in the aura is growing, and it's very effulgent, and it's giving us great possibilities of shining and creating that ability to shine like individual selves. And we are taking that light into the darkness. And when you find the light in the darkness, is actually that you're not only helping yourself, but you're also helping others to see that light and to become able beings who are, conceptualizing their life and living it well, and of course absorbing, because when we take birth and we bring that light and that life force into our body and we take our first breath, we are very convinced that we are going to live well, do well, do the work of the divine. But somewhere in that attachment, that need, that empathetic connection with mother, father, or even sometimes being separated from the birth father and mother, wherever you're going, you're navigating through material nature to find the divine, and then go back to the source, to be in service to the divine in heaven, or Vaikuntha or Goloka, wherever you have enabled yourself in this journey to take the light. To follow the light, one must be able to walk through the darkness, because the road of life is about the highs and the lows. So if you don't go through that darkness, you're not aware that what is the light. No? If you're in a spacecraft and at the nose of your spacecraft there is a blinking light, it's spreading through the darkness and it's showing you where you're going. So just for a moment, you turn off that light, then you're in darkness, but you're still moving. So when we come and we take birth here, just believe me that you have the shining light at the top of your head, which is your crown chakra. That's the first chakra that enables us to distinguish darkness from light. And we bring that light, and when we are born, everybody's so happy, they're celebrating, there's joy, there's, you're creating space for yourself, you're bringing your good fortune. Now when we look at the planets, the sun and Venus are very shining light bodies, right? Of course, the other planets also have, but these are the two most majestic. And when they appear together in a person's planetary position, is the time to worry.
Oh.
Because it's like two headlights on a highway of life, right?
Yes.
So if if you drive a car at night, you'll all be very familiar with what I'm going to say. So there is a full headlights on car is approaching from the other side, and it's blinding the driver. And this driver also has this lovely lights on, right, to see the highway. And when you get nearer, it's like almost like blinding you. You can't see where you're going. So you dip your headlights, and the other person also dips the headlight. And then when you're crossing for a minute, that cross is complete darkness and you can't see the road. And then you turn on the lights and you're able to see the road again. So Venus and Sun are illuminating planets for our soul, are cherishing abilities to walk and take the light into the darkness. So it's very important to understand this, that the darkness is existing in our journey. When we begin our journey in material nature and we are emitting that light, we are rejuvenating. When I see somebody, I can tell them that they're pregnant even before they know, because I can see the shining light in the womb. And that light can sometimes be bigger than even the aura of the mother who's connected to that soul, because we are all living alone. We live so that we can complete our karmic journey, and yet we are assisting others to see the light. So we have to take the light to wherever there is absence, wherever there is darkness, and in that darkness there's a huge potential. Because even when we are in the mother's womb, remember that we are enabled by the 5 elements of air, water, fire, earth and space, which we're taking from the mother, and our own spiritual life that we brought. We are making and creating our body with assistance. The mother can't say, now grow this finger, grow this, grow your brain. You're doing it. So that you're like an engineer, a tech wizard, and very spiritually enabled by the light in that space of darkness to do all the work. So when people say, I'm very afraid of the dark.
Yes.
Remember little kids that say, I
Absolutely.
can't go. So they are in memory of that womb with the mother, where there has been some security, some comfort, or maybe even some anguish in the mother's light, that she has plunged that soul into darkness with her own depression, unhappiness. Maybe she didn't want to be pregnant. There can be a plethora of reasons. But eventually remember that you are alone, your journey is alone, you have the light, and you're taking this light into the darkness of all life situations. And the more you illuminate yourself, the more you will be able to illuminate the life of others. That's why becoming a healer is so, so, so important.
And so we can light our way into the darkness fearlessly. And we have so much love coming in from everyone who's joining in live, Ma, today.
Yes, I love you all.
Yes, so we have Sakshi who says, this is so amazing to know and understand, Ma. Parveen also shares, she says, yes, Ma, you told me I was pregnant with Vivan before I knew.
Yes.
And then, of
So
course,
sweet.
we have Ashwini Bhaiya joining in, who says, love you, Mom,
Hello,
bowing
I
at your
love you.
lotus feet. Thank you for being there for all of us unconditionally. And, of course, we have Mini Majitya, Ritu Gautam Chadda, Bittu Auntie, Umang,
Love to all of you.
Harshala, Shilpi, Rita Arora, and many, 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 many more who are joining in. And we have lovely Madhvi, I think, who's in Washington, who's saying that she joins in, sitting on the terrace, enjoying the dark sky with the stars and the moon and the planets. So the same way that you were talking about the sun and the stars, Ma, do the... of course, from a physics and a scientific perspective, we understand that the moon is just reflected light of the sun. But does the Earth and other planets also have a light source that is being illuminated, that you see clairvoyantly, that is different from the material light that we see and we connect to?
Each one of us has different lights. I don't need to go into the space and into, the planets and all. Even here, every one of us has a signature light.
Okay.
Just like the sun and the moon have theirs, and Venus has theirs, and Jupiter, and Mercury, and Mars, and Saturn. And
so is that the light that you see, the soul's light, when you see in the womb?
Yeah.
So that light continues. Does it transform?
Yeah, it can transform with prayer, with religious faith, with healing, with doing good actions, doing dhan, charity, and looking out for the welfare of other souls, whether it's ants, birds, animals, fishes. People do go out and feed and have little bird feeding trays on their balconies, where the birds come and they peck on the grains, and that's like a feast for the birds, and that is very, very, very important for people to understand. That your signature light is always the same, but how much of it you can transfer into the darkness is dependent on how well you're fortified with your own inherited karma and the spiritual quotient that will give you the belief and the faith and connect you to a living master, where you can heal everything that comes up in your life. And of course, your parents can be your gurus, your teachers, because they are the first level of instruction giving and teaching you how not to tell lies, not to do this, not to go and create confidence in you. There are other parents who say, don't go, the old man will come and catch you, and then that affects the child's psyche, and the child could be afraid of all elderly people, especially with white hair, because sometimes the children will ask, who is this Buddha Baba, this old man who's going to come and catch me, and the parents are very happy to describe that he has white hair and he has spectacles and he has a beard and all. And then granddad comes to visit with his white hair and his spectacles and the beard, and the child is terrified because they don't identify that this is a loving grandparent. They identify with the old man. So we have to be very careful how we create, corridors of light, because every relationship is a corridor of darkness. Darkness doesn't mean just dark, but the ability to not recognize what the other person is sending you through that corridor of association. And sometimes people are just developing relationships for their own wants and needs and not the ability to give and share. So that's why it's very, very important to understand that in this darkness is the most magnificent opportunity for you to transform your karmic resonance and move ahead with great joy and the act of giving. So it's not just, giving for fun. It's about giving with generosity. So I'm reminded of a story which I'll share here, that there was once a dove was flying over, near the banks of the river, and she found that there was a bee in the water which was struggling and was in movement with the water and was almost ready to drown because the wings were wet. So the dove took a leaf from the plant and dropped it very near where the bee was, and so the bee climbed onto that leaf and swam along on that lovely carpet of green light, and when the wings were dry, it flew away. Then a few days later, there was a hunter that came to the same riverside and saw the dove. And now the dove was in fear because it was aiming right at, as the dove was flying and hopping from branch to branch and trying to save itself because there was a threat. And the bee saw this activity, and then just as the hunter was ready to pull the trigger, the bee went and stung his hand.
Oh.
So it misfired.
Missed the mark.
Missed the mark. So the dove lived to tell another story, to help another leaf to become in service. That leaf that was on that tree had to be in service to that soul, which was the bee.
Wow.
And the dove had to be the one who brought the light into the darkness. Right? So every situation in your life is a space of darkness. How much light you take into that space is up to you independently.
I think this is such a transformative understanding, Ma, because the minute you said that every relationship is a corridor of darkness, I was really shocked and how it will be. But as the story you have revealed, and it illustrates that, of course, yes, that we must look at
how we can help
others.
And in that darkness, we'll be given the moment of illumination. So you have to take your light into the darkness and help other souls to become very fulgent healers and reciprocate in that darkness, in that not recognizing that this is my brother, my sister, or my pet dog, or my fish, or my, this ownership of mine. It's not really illuminating. It's living in darkness. You have to say ours. This is our journey. We need to help each other. We need to love. We need to share. We need to care. We need to give. Even if it's food for the ants, it's food for the birds, food for the dog. Maybe you're getting some chara for the cows, whoever you're wanting to serve, it's very, very important. So darkness it is, and we're bringing the light and we're shining, and when the light bulb comes on or the stars come out in the night or the moon's light shines down upon us,
Yes.
it's a very mystical experience. I would encourage all of you to at least today or in the next 1 week, because there's lots of good energies coming down from the heavenly sky, and they're coming down through the darkness.
So
you
what is
look into
that simple connection between the light and the dark that we can truly understand in the context of the upcoming retreat, the healing retreat?
It's very simply put that there was one daughter of one very nice Surya Dev,
Hanji.
and her name was Roshni, and she kept running and running and running her whole life. And she said that to her father that I'm very, very, very tired, because this darkness is running after me and I have to run faster and faster and faster. So the father looked at her and said, darkness? But that's your sister. Right?
Right.
So don't be afraid, don't run away, just embrace her. So then Roshni was very shocked that she had a sister whose name was Rajni. The night and the light
And the light.
and the darkness. See, even in the evolution of human behavior, we are sleeping when it's night time.
Absolutely.
Most of us now, of course, people do work through the night and sleep during the day because they have night duty, because the world is just clocking and clocking and clocking. But when you become healers, wherever you are, whatever time frame, your body is receiving that light, and you are taking that light into the darkness for the welfare of your own identity and the welfare of others.
That's so beautiful, Ma, and there's a lot of gratitude flowing in from the collective. We have Annie who says, Guru Ma, you are my shining beacon of light in my journey through darkness. I am always in the light at your lotus feet. Deeply, deeply grateful
So
and
sweet.
blessed, Ma. Your bacha forever.
Love you, beta. Missing you.
Missing all of you. And
Sunday mornings are so good that
Yes.
we are enabled. I have another story
Yes,
which has
ma'am.
just popped into my head about how we can understand the intelligence of darkness and light.
beautiful, Ma.
And this is about a story in a small town. There was a phone booth where people could go and make calls, international calls and other calls to other cities. And it was one of those old machines where you put your coins and you keep adding the coins till your conversation is going on. So one day, the village or the town people found that this booth, this telephone was not working. So then there was one pradhan or one, responsible citizen who said that I'll take it upon myself to get it repaired. So the villagers had to walk many, many, many miles to be able to make their phone calls. And they were getting very, very, very unhappy. And this man was writing a letter, sending an email, making phone, requests from his own journey into another town, and trying to get in touch with the people and saying that please send the mechanic to repair this. Then no mechanic was coming. Then what do you think he did? He wrote a letter. He said, please don't send any mechanic, because the phone is working so abundantly that every time we make a call, the coins come out and we can keep reusing the coins. And then, how soon do you think the mechanic arrived? In 1 hour.
1 hour.
So sometimes you have to shine that light in the darkness with your intelligence, with your wit, with the, harnessing your own abilities of charging forward. And the mechanic came. So sometimes even just taking the light into the darkness is not enough. You have to get your wit, you have to get your intelligence, you have to negotiate with the darkness that how am I going to illuminate somebody else's consciousness that they're going to reciprocate in the way that is needed for the situation. So that is very, very, very important. And very soon the people in the town and the nearby village were very happy because the phone was working. The communication with the light source of their various relationships was being authentic and reciprocal.
So in this journey of being authentic with the light and reciprocal with the light and the darkness, what is that one mission that is an addition to the service, like the dove and the leaf and the bee, that they were all in service to each other, ultimately in that cycle? What is that one additional healing attitude or action that we can add to our journey of taking the light into the darkness?
See, you have to know that everybody is not coming with the best of intentions.
Okay.
So how can I illustrate this? This is another story. You're going to say, Mom,
I love it.
telling stories.
I love the
But
stories.
this story is about a horse who was grazing in the fields, right? It was very happy. The sun was shining. And then from the corner of his eye, he saw that there was a fox that was steadily approaching to attack him. So he said, my dear friend, I am limping because I have a thorn in my hoof and it's really, really, really paining. So the fox very cunningly said, you know, I've just been to medical school and I just know how to fix and take that thorn out. Let me approach and take this thorn out. So when the fox approached to just take a chunk of his leg off for dinner, the horse kicked as hard as he could. And then the fox went flying away, saying that the ability, each of us has certain abilities, right? So the ability of the horse was to defend himself with that kick, and that's what it was planning, that you come near enough so I can really send you far off, right? So he took the light into his own heart and he planned and he conjectured and he staved his way away from danger. And the fox was also very illuminated that, you know, the ability of the horse to kick. The fox is cunning, but it's not does not have that ability. So we have to harness our own abilities. We have to see, we have to read, we have to listen to music, we have to play an instrument, we have to inculcate those abilities. And the most magnificent ability of a human being is to get connected to the light and to share that light forward. You're very quiet.
No, that it's something to think about, no, Ma? That I think I'm still on that first sentence that you said, that not everyone is coming with the best of intentions. And so I am just thinking that could we also be that someone without good intentions for another? And how do we really heal that?
By just getting connected to healing, that's the only way. And to use the symbols to connect to your chakras, to invite, whether you're sitting, whether you're living, whether you're dealing with the darkness, how are you dealing with it? How are you magnifying your own abilities? It could be somebody doing a simple act of watering their house plants, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that could be of great service to nature. And somebody could be feeding some poor and hungry children, or giving educational sustenance to people so that they can educate and get that education and become productive and confident light beings in this world. So illumination comes from three goddesses. One is Durga Devi's strength, and Saraswati Ji's education, and Mahalakshmi Ji is the wealth. So the wealth cannot be measured just by learning from books. It's about experience, it's about generosity, it's about sharing, and it's about converting all spaces of darkness with the light that you have in your heart. So to enlighten yourself, you need to have your faith, your success, your abilities nurtured and honed, that wherever you go, people are, benefiting from your light. And a good way, a good test is that supposing you go into a restaurant, right? And the restaurant is empty, you're the first ones to arrive, and suddenly the restaurant fills up. Then 100% you have taken the light into that restaurant. Right?
Oh, beautiful.
And if you are going to a petrol pump and you're filling your car with the petrol and lots of other cars just drive in at that time, you're taking the light to that petrol pump. So bring that light to your home and nurture yourself with your abilities to share. And use the symbols as I've taught them to you. And use the webs and send them out to the whole universe. There's no lack of. The light is very, very magnificent and is always shining. The sun sets one part of planet Earth, it's illuminating another part. Like many of you are sitting in the starry night on the balconies and listening to me, or maybe some of you going for your evening walk, and some of you are just waking up. It's like Sunday morning. Oh my God, I wish I could sleep longer. I can get that. Remember,
Vibration.
The darkness is just the absence of light.
Yes.
And light consumes the darkness. Right?
Yes, Ma, I think that you've answered so many questions that all of us had. And one of the key questions that I came with today was that why do we need to journey into darkness? But you've answered it so beautifully that everything is actually the darkness.
Yeah.
And we have to connect
Really.
and disperse and channel and share the light that's within us. So first we have to share with ourselves to awaken to that connection. And so in this beautiful realization and all the stories that you've told us, and I'm sure everyone is thinking and relating and maybe even has their own questions, and so I'm going to open it up to the collective. And of course I see a few healing requests already here.
Lots of love and healing to everyone out there.
Yes.
Especially for the health of the parents, because it's a little bit of a difficult planetary position.
Yes. And talking about that, taking the light wherever we go, Sakshi shares that, Ma, I notice that when I go into a shop with no customers, somehow it gets filled with customers. It happens every time. Yes.
So you have a good light and you're sharing it forward.
Absolutely.
So keep doing. You're doing something right. So just keep repeating.
Yes. And then we have Sakshi again, who asked that her youngest Mamaji, Naresh Gabaji, who's unwell.
We're sending him healing.
Yeah, so she says that he doesn't believe in God's power to heal and he doesn't want to pray and believe in God. How do we make him believe?
No,
you
we
can't.
are not responsible for his light.
Yes.
You're responsible for your light. You do the work, and then if your light is really strong, then he will transform. I've seen that magically happen. With just one conversation, people get so illuminated. And once that lamp of light is awakened at the third eye chakra, and the crown is the sparsh of the divine, the touch of the divine, and that is that healed part of yourself that has come from the divine abode, and nobody can disturb that energy. So that is the exit point of life, also going into that sphere of higher light.
Higher light. And so, Ma, even this acknowledgement that we have to channel the light, and again going back to another key expression or statement or guidance or eureka moment for today for me was that all our relationships are corridors of darkness. And so as we light our way into the darkness, that how does that darkness permeate our consciousness and our thoughts? Like sometimes when one can just blank out or be very hazy, or even be in a position of having to take decisions and be negative about yourself or your life, or go into these dark spirals of thought. In that moment, what can we do to like sort of jerk ourselves out of that whirlpool of darkness and know that, hey, I am the light, I have the light, I can share the light?
See, the basic thing, I can just take Sakshi's example, that whenever she's looking at her Mamaji, she's not looking at somebody who's in pain, living in darkness, and she has to bring the light. She's actually inviting his misfortune
into
of
her
not,
consciousness.
oh, he doesn't believe in God. How does it matter? Even the tree may not know, not have the consciousness to believe in the divine, but the tree is manufacturing its own food, it's growing its branches, and it's got so much more intelligence than even us. If somebody cuts my arm, I can't grow another arm, right? I'll have to really look at how to get a support arm, through the Jaipur fort and arm, like they help
Like a bionic
people.
arm,
Yeah,
yes,
bionic.
ma'am.
So the thing is that it depends on, you may think, oh, I've gone into the shop and lots of people have come in. There may be somebody else who came in after you who may have brought the light, right? Because if you're going to see your Mamaji as this entity that does not have the light, then how are you going to illuminate that person further? So whatever is their mindset, it's of no consequence to us. We are born alone, we are going to die alone, we have to travel alone, and we have to travel through the darkness. And wherever we go, if we take the light, then there is no darkness. Everything is like bubbling with joy. And so will the Mamaji get better, or even if he ascends and he's very sick and he goes to another realm, he will re-find his connection with the divine. That I'm very, very sure we all do.
Absolutely. I was just having the vision now, or the visual, that the tree doesn't need to understand or believe in the elements.
Light, the
Yes,
water,
absolutely. And you don't need to believe in gravity for gravity to work upon your body and hold you close to Mother Earth.
The tree is, dropping its fruits all the time.
All the time.
It's giving back to Mother Earth.
So have the confidence in yourself that you are the light and that you can flood any situation, any relationship, any opportunity of darkness and convert it into light.
Yeah, in the morning when I was on the terrace and I was looking at the sun rising, I was not just saying, oh, thank you, sun, for the light. I was, on behalf of every living being on planet Earth, I was thanking the sun's light. And at the same time, I was doing healing for all the trees, plants, for all the people who were waking up, even the people who were going to sleep, that they have a perfect day, whether they are in darkness, ignorance, or just slumber time, or rest. Remember that our body, when we go to sleep, is in repair and maintenance. It is working even when we are sleeping. So the light is working. That healer part of you deep inside never goes to sleep.
Absolutely, ma'am.
So stay in touch with that, and you will hear the light. You will be converted to becoming a light being when you will see the magic of your own presence. And the magic of your own presence is if you can be grateful. That is the fuel, or the wax of the candle, or the fuel of petrol, or whatever it is, CNG gas, whatever you're illuminating your fires with. Remember that it's all part and parcel of your physical and auric anatomy. So there are lots and lots of flames of, nurturance at the solar plexus to digest your food, and your throat chakra, the air prana that is giving you the ability to speak, and your ears hearing and listening, and of course the flame at the third eye to increase our intelligence, our consciousness, and even to connect to happiness just because you're still breathing. Can you imagine what a joyful moment that is? And then of course the flame at the top of our head that is reminding us that we are never disconnected from the divine. Whether we have the intelligence to recognize it or not, it doesn't really matter.
Yes, ma. That is very empowering that you say that. And we have Ash who asks and greets and says, pranams at your holy lotus feet. Isn't it true that if every relationship is a corridor of darkness, we are at both the ends of the corridor? One they are.
But what shines even in the darkness is your own generosity of spirit of sharing and giving. So when you're sharing and giving, then that light is awakened. And when you're saying me, my body, myself, and opening the cupboard and saying, I have so few clothes, what should I wear today? And your cupboard may be full of clothes, but you can't see them. So that could be also a moment of darkness in your self-evolution. Or you could say, I have less money or less people to help me do my work. So many times, people call me from the US and Canada and Australia and all these wonderful cities. And they're always talking about how they don't have any help and they have to do everything for themselves. And I was really thinking that finally we have to do it for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Each one of us has to get up and really work. And light consumes the darkness. Remember, when you are shining the light, the darkness is evaporating. So the light is consuming that darkness and is giving you liberation to see, to hear, to smell, to taste, to touch. The light in all spheres of awareness. And that awareness grows when we have gratitude. That awareness grows when we respect our parents, teachers, elders, and all living beings, and in that process ourselves. And we can harness that by doing self-healing, and of course just affirming that just for today I will not be angry, and just for today I will not worry and fear, and I will give up the act of judgment.
And I'll do my work honestly.
Yeah, finally that is the work. That is the
work.
honesty.
The work has just begun from last Sunday. We know that.
Light your way into the darkness.
And light your way into darkness. And resonating with this gratitude, we have Suman Lehra, who says, I am grateful that I encountered you, Ma, in the phase of darkness in my life. Thank you so much.
Love you, Beta. All things are getting better.
And then we have Ankita Rawat, who says, Ma'am, it's so good to start the Sunday morning with your healings and blessings. What more can we ask for? So much resonance of gratitude.
To share forward. I send you so that you have a great Sundays and Sundays and Sundays till the end of your life that are filled with the light.
Absolutely.
And all the other days as well.
Absolutely, Ma. And we have Dinesh Uncle, who says hello from 39,000 feet in the air.
Oh, he's on flight.
He's on flight.
Oh, it's so sweet. God bless you.
Yes.
To follow the light, one must be able to walk through the darkness.
Absolutely. He says, yes, we are on our way to kids. Bless and heal us all, Mom.
Yes, lots of love and healing.
And then, of course, we have Alexandra, who says, thank you, Ma, for the healing for the parents. Love you so much.
Yes, big hugs to all the parents.
Always,
who are our first teachers and enablers.
Yes.
And giving us food, water, clothing, and all the generosity that comes from being a parent.
And in that generosity of being a parent and holding that familial tie and then taking it at a global and cosmic level, I think Annie is resonating with what I was also thinking when Ash asked his question, that actually when you get consumed by the darkness, there's always the healing light there, and you just have to reach out for the hand of the Guru and the light and the divine and the healer. And so Annie says, when you reach out to hold another's hand, one is illuminated together in the corridor of darkness. And so then that becomes a corridor of light. And we have a very interesting question from Parul Kashyap, who says, Dear Ma'am, how to bring light into the home with one's presence, and how to teach our children and kids to be the light that illuminates relationships, friendships, and their surroundings. So I think Parul Ma has given us the key, which is the gratitude. So maybe how do we instill that gratitude in the young ones, in the next generation?
No, and also to bring it into your home. So, I'd gone to Israel and I was teaching, and I saw that everybody who was coming into that room or into that conference hall was touching the chalk curtain, the frame of the door. And there was something there that they were kissing, right? And then I asked them that, what is that? So they said that's a holy blessing on the door. That we have been given entry to this portal of light, and we have come into our abode, which is the most secure place And in Israel,
The mezuzah.
we place
The mezuzah,
at every door, entry door of the house, so that everybody is going in and going out is going with the consciousness of the divine, and not bringing in any darkness and not taking out any darkness, right? And the interesting part is that even in Vedic injunction, if we go down south, they put the rice thing and they make these mandalas of light and swagat, welcome. And, in the north, we put some mustard oil to welcome important guests into a house. And sometimes people just put one drop each to honor the door that protects them from all misfortune and hate and anger and all. So I would say to Parul that every time you enter your house, just thank your house for being there. Thank that door that, is giving you the ability to safe and secure space. And of course, your own body that's walking through that doorway and bringing only the light. And then, appreciating, being grateful for everything that you have. And then everybody will be so much happier. And whatever you cook, everybody will eat the same thing. Whatever you drink, everyone will drink that water with you. And will smile, will laugh, will be generous. Maybe, I am thinking of Parul, and in the shelf behind, whenever we do a Zoom meeting, and lots of law books. And sometimes I ask her, does she read any of them? And she tells me no, because I do most of my work on the computer, and all these books are very, available at a click of a button, so we can just go to the exact portion. Otherwise, when we pick up the book, we'll have to keep looking, right? But the reality is that when you have books in the house, you must open them.
Yes.
You must read from them. And that will increase much more than comes from the computer.
The computer. Yes.
The dear Devi is in the box. So we must inhale that knowledge in our third eye chakra. And third eye chakra is the Agya chakra, or the command-giving chakra. So every pore and cell of our beautiful body will be anointed and blessed by that knowledge, which will further illuminate you, and you will be taking the light into the darkness. Even at that court where she's going to appear and fight for her client, is going to be super successful, because those corridors are also filled with darkness. And fear, and fear of arrest, fear of going to jail, whatever it is. Investigations are ongoing. So we are also investigating in our own house and the kitchen. A housewife may get up in the morning and say, I have nothing to cook, and there may be lots of onions and potatoes and tomatoes and lots of other vegetables, but it's not suiting her. But when a housewife goes into the kitchen and says, wow, there's so much, then that's going to be abundant.
Yes.
So it depends on how you approach your home. So you should always be thankful for everything that you have.
Yes.
And sometimes just reflect where that thing came from and what was the journey of that thing, and then you'll have more astute understanding of where your body came from, your parents, and how they nurtured you. I've heard so many people who are always complaining about, my father didn't do this, my mom didn't do that. So I really want that the generations ahead, what is that legacy, that inheritance that you can give for your children, is to give them the light and a great friendship with the darkness. So when they have friendship with the darkness, then darkness will be their best friend, and they feel very comforted, because they know that they brought the light into the space, and magically things are going to change.
I love that visual that you've given us of Roshni and Rajni, the light and the darkness, that they are sisters and running after each other. And so it's actually quite playful, is what I am giggling and playful. And so that's, I think, the attitude maybe instilling in all our hearts, to replace the fear with the playful embrace of togetherness, of the light, and of converting the darkness into light. And of course, we have Naomi who joins in, and she says that she loves the mezuzah, and she's also thinking back to your guidance that you had given a few Sundays ago, where You had explained to keep a yellow squash by the front door to absorb the negative energies. So actually Naomi's question makes me think of a question, that what are the foods that we can eat that enhance the light? I think that would be a good way to conclude today's
all
Sunday.
Fruits and all vegetables are so gathering the energies of the different planets. So if you're having a green kiwi, then the cover of the kiwi is brown, but it comes out green, and there's white and black little speckles, in the center of the kiwi. So you are looking at Saturn and Moon and Mercury, who are great friends. And there's Rahu outside, so you remove the skin. People don't eat the skin of the kiwi. They just take the fruit. Now convert that to a yellow kiwi, golden yellow. So now you have the golden yellow. Outside is still brown, inside is golden yellow. And it still has the white and black dots, which is Jupiter and Moon and Saturn. And Saturn and Jupiter are two big planets. And the Moon's light is always giving you intelligence. So it's harnessing your relationship with the Guru. It's harnessing your relationship with your mind, which is the Moon. And Rahu is, of course, protecting and is a planet that gives lots of auspicious success if it's placed nicely. So you should remove the skin with great honor and thank it for having protected that lovely fruit. So like that, you can go into every fruit and there is a story to tell.
And so we have Mitali, who's always loves her fruit, and she's saying, what about papaya?
Papaya is very nice, it's dry. And when you cut the papaya, it's brilliant orange.
Yes, we're back, Ma.
Okay,
So we were paused at the lovely
papaya story. So if you open the papaya, it has a lot of seeds and it has a hollow space. So it's got the energies of Mars and Mercury and Saturn, and it also has little speckles of white right inside. There's like a fibrous net which we remove with the seeds. We don't eat it. But I have a funny story to tell. Once a friend of mine had gone to Jindal to lose weight and rejuvenate herself. So the first day they gave her only water to drink and she was so hungry. The second day they gave her lemon water with some leaves of tulsi and neem and curry patta. So she was saying, can I have more leaves? And the third day they gave her a slice of papaya. So she took the seeds and she took that, with a spoon, and she ate like a very nice, hungry person. And then she looked and said that these people are only going to give me this. So then she ate the seeds and the skin and everything, and she said she had never been so satiated. So it was the energies of Mercury and Mars with Saturn and Moon, and she was very fulfilled. And she successfully lost weight and came back. So that was a fun story to just end today's. So ignorant, you are taking the light into your own body, right? So when you're eating and you're not satisfied, then you will eat whatever is offered. So eat we must. We must eat the light.
And we must eat the light. And as we are eating and sharing and illuminating, there are a few who have joined in, who are including Shilpa, who asks this very pertinent question, and it's a good place for us to understand. So it's absolutely clear and necessary, where she talks about doubt, and she talks about the clouds of doubt that sometimes overwhelm her. And so maybe what is she not doing that is sort of creating the clouds of doubt?
So I can share that, Sakshi asked a question about her Mamaji not believing in God. So how does she know, really? You can't get into anyone's mind. They may have a faith very deep, and even they may not be aware of it because they've not shown the torch inside, right? And the same way with Parul, that the doubt is that, is there good energy coming? Do I have good energy? Yes. All of us have a flame in the solar plexus, flame in the heart, flame in the throat, flame in the third eye, and the crown chakra, which are all illuminating different aspects of our life. So if we can really shine that torch, because our house also has the same chakras, and we can resonate with the goodness with everyone, because every living being that we meet has, remember the bee and the dove, I started this connection and established and shared a story, and the river, the tree where the leaf came from, the dove, the bee, everybody was co-joined in caring and sharing with the rest of humanity and Mother Nature's abundant abilities to inculcate intelligence even in the dove and the bee. What to speak of human beings? Human beings understand that they have this deep connection with the light, and wherever they go, the light is going with them. They're not alone. So get connected to healing, and all doubts will disappear, because whenever a doubt comes, it's an opportunity to heal, to take the light into that doubt and to
create a new foundation of light.
Yeah.
I love that. So as we all create and sustain and enhance our foundation of light to not only carry ourselves but all other souls that are in our corridors of light.
Rejoice that they are there.
Rejoicing, Ma, rejoicing with you.
Rejoicing.
And rejoicing with each and every one of you listening in, joining in.
Love
Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Gratitude. Stay with it. Stay, bring the light, take the light, and remember that the light is always with you. Love you. Bye-bye. See you next Sunday.